Is yoga hard at first? Yes. But it gets easier. Like anything worth doing, you have to commit and be consistent over time. The nice thing about yoga is that you don't need to have a flexible body or strong muscles in order to reap all the benefits. Everyone can do yoga. So just like with anything else in life, if you are persistent, you will see results. And those results will be so satisfying that they'll motivate you even further into practicing consistently, which in turn accelerates your progress on the mat and feels great. Is yoga harder than Pilates? Yes, it is. You already know what your body needs to be happy and healthy. A balance of the physical, the intellectual, emotional, and yes, the spiritual. Just like Pilates does not get all of that on its own, yoga does when it's learned in its entirety. And unlike yoga, Pilates is a completed system that allows for a huge range of options. Not everyone takes the time to learn and understand every single exercise. Whereas with yoga you don't have that option, you must learn it all to do any, so it's harder in terms of commitment. Is yoga hard on shoulder? Whether it is Bikram yoga, hot vinyasa yoga or Iyengar yoga, you'll always have to deal with that fierce shoulder pain at least once during your practice. The shoulder joint is notoriously unstable and the instability in that joint is what gives yoga its own style. So, should you stop doing yoga cause of shoulder pain? The answer is no. Tips for dealing with shoulder pain during yoga. 1. Understand the cause of your discomfort before fixing it. 2. Learn how to breathe properly. 3. Stretch out your shoulders before every practice. 4. Understand which poses are hard on the arms and shoulders. 1. Understand the cause of your discomfort before fixing it. The first thing you need to do when facing any injury is learn as much about the problem as possible so that you know exactly what's going on inside your body and why this condition developed. As a beginner, I often found myself confused when my teacher asked me to fix, or open up, certain parts of my body which I thought were already fine. It took me a while to realize that my problem was not that I was unable to open up these parts of my body, but just the opposite, I was too eager and couldn't tell when something hurts. It's important for you to understand this so that you don't go mad trying to achieve what is impossible. My teacher once said, in yoga every injury begins with overdoing. In other words, if you're experiencing pain, it means your work is paying off. You'll be able to explore much deeper into the practice and soon enough the pain will disappear. But if you keep being scared of pain or if you think there is some magic trick that will make all pains disappear, then sooner or later you'll find yourself injured and stuck. 2. Learn how to breathe properly. Yoga is not just a physical activity, it's a spiritual practice in which your body, mind and soul unite into one whole entity. And breathing is the key to this unity. So, if you don't know how to breathe properly, there is no way you can achieve full potential of any yoga pose, let alone your entire practice. Proper breathing technique will always keep you calm and relaxed so that even though your body might be sore from all that strenuous work you're doing today, tomorrow or next month, it will never hurt as much as it hurts now. The only way for learning proper breathing technique is through personal experience with yoga teachers who have lots of experience. 3. Stretch out your shoulders before every practice. The key to prevent shoulder injuries is stretching. Lots of it. If you go into a yoga class with already tight and stiff shoulders, then there's no way you're going to be able to work on them properly during your entire practice without getting injured sooner or later. In addition, stretching after each pose is crucial for keeping yourself feeling relaxed and comfortable throughout the day because whereas yoga challenges our body all day long, rest and relaxation can only come from stretching our body at night when most of us are asleep anyway. Even though I'll admit that most people wake up in the middle of the night nowadays. So next time you have a 20-minute break between classes and feel like resting a bit, rather than getting up and talking to your classmates or going out for some fresh air, it's better to spend the time lying on your back with a yoga strap around your shoulders while stretching them as much as you can. 4. Understand which poses are hard on the arms and shoulders. Understand which poses are hard on the arms and shoulders and avoid them until you're too strong for that. I had a beautiful practice in which I alternated between working my chest and triceps in Virasana, hero pose by doing one arm push-ups against the wall, then doing all kinds of arm balances such as crow pose, Bikasana, side crow pose, Parsva Bikasana, or handstand. But unfortunately, when I moved on from Ashtanga to Iyengar, my beautiful practice stopped looking so fantastic. As soon as I started practicing in a regular vinyasa flow, I was already developing pain and discomfort in my arms and shoulders, especially when it came to crow pose or handstand. So, if you're having shoulder issues that you can't seem to fix even after adopting all of the above-mentioned practices, then don't force yourself into any arm balances just yet. Instead, work on easier poses like half-shoulder stand, Ardha Sarvangasana, forearm plank, one-arm pillar, Eka Pada Raja Kapodasana, and many others which still challenge your body without putting pressure on your arms and shoulders too much. Is yoga hard on your joints? The short answer is yes, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Yoga was never meant to replace conventional medicine or physiotherapy. If things are hurting, stop doing them. But in terms of the effects yoga can have on your posture and flexibility in general, let's take a look at what's actually going on when you get all bendy with it. Yoga is like most other sports and activities in that it will be hard on your body if you don't take care of yourself. If you stretch too far or hold poses for too long without proper warm-up and cool-down periods, then injuries will occur as a result. And just because something is called yoga does not mean it's the magic cure-all for all your aches and pains. Aside from that, yoga is said to enhance flexibility because it has an elongating effect on the muscles and joints. It essentially lengthens muscle fibers rather than contracting them like other forms of exercise do. This means you're able to exploit a greater range of movement in whichever joint or body part you are stretching at any given time. But this doesn't mean you can take things too far either. Is yoga harder with long legs? The answer is yes. Long legs mean much more weight, so that the body needs to become very strong and flexible in order for the poses to be performed correctly without injury or pain. The torso becomes very important as it takes a lot of pressure from balancing in asymmetrical poses while placing additional strain on muscles such as hip flexors and hamstrings. Arm balances are also quite difficult, especially when the arms are not aligned with each other, typically. If one has long arms, then they will have a hard time performing handstand because it requires intense flexibility and mobility of the shoulder joints.